everybody. It's Tuesday morning. It is cloudy. I think a hurricane was on the coast, so we're getting all the clouds now. Probably get some rain tomorrow, maybe. Still need to wash my car, and that's the update. It's your weather on the, what is this, the 8s probably? I don't know, some random weird number that the weather stations want to come up with because they want to stay relevant. Ooh, what are we doing, battery? Let's go. You don't want to start. Oh no. Well, maybe my batteries are dead. They're not great batteries anyway, are they? We'll put in new batteries. Hang on. Well, hopefully this is the problem. It would be very sad if it wasn't. We will find out in a moment. There it goes. Yay! That appears to be it. Perfect. New batteries. Happy day. Okay, so we're gonna fiddle with this clever thing again, and I'm gonna do it hot water this time. So what we're going to do is it's a smaller thing, much smaller than, of course, than the Chemex, which is a giant honking thing that can hold a lot of water. So we're gonna do a little bit less than we normally do, but it should provide us with quite a bit of coffee, at least to fill this cup up. 22 grams of coffee, and then we'll do 320 grams of water. And then we'll see how that does. All right, so 220, and it's very specific. But there again, the recipes that I've seen are developed by people that have gotten to the point where their tastes are like right there. Like, this is the perfect cup of coffee. Whoop. Yeah, I did that. It's the wrong lid. Wrong lid for the wrong device. There we go. I'm using the specialty coffee from Puerto Rico this morning. Figure we should do the hot version of this clever with something that I really enjoy. We finished the crimson. The crimson is gone. It is done. Very happy to report that. One of those things that I really like is finishing things. And we were able to finish off that entire bag without having to throw it away. Absolutely perfect. So we will take this clever to be our awfully wedded wife. Actually, let me put the, there we go. Okay. All right. So we'll put the clever there to get ready for everything. Our water is heating. We're a little over halfway there. And we're going to do this in the traditional method. We're done. So we're going to put about 50 grams in to get everything nice. Well, do we even really need to bloom? Because I was reading there are two things. Somebody said, can you do this like a pour over? And of course you can. You can put the device directly onto the glass, and then that activates the plunger, and then it just pours right on through. Like a pour over, but it's like I have a pour over. I bought this so that it can steep, basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for about a 4 minute and some change. And I'm going to get it up to about, what did I say, 320, 350? I'll get it up to about 350. I guess we can get it up to 300 and it'd be fine, huh? I don't know how much this really holds. We'll get up to 350 here, because it looks like we can do that. I guess the problem, though, is can this hold 350? I guess we'll find out. All right, so we're going to let this steep. I don't think that there's any crust breaking necessary. I don't know. It's immersion, but it's not like doing the French press where everything presses through. This all is just all its own little thing, and it just floats right on through the bottom. So we'll have to see how this works. So we'll wait, because the minute I put it on this, the little device will activate and the plunger will go, and it'll be a mess. So I'm going to put a little lid on it for no reason. And we're going to go for about 4.5 to 5 minutes, depending on how long I'm talking. Give or take a speech or two. Went to my hometown football game on Friday. Not for the football. Wanted to see how the band was doing. Unfortunately, they've lost a little volume. A couple of their people graduated, and then several other people were given an ultimatum, apparently, of you can either be in sports-related things or you can be in the band, which is really sad because really you can do both. It's just more of the parents don't want to deal with that kind of thing, which I guess I don't blame them. You know, I guess, but I kind of do because, you know, I mean, if a kid wants to play music, music's not really going to give them a concussion. Music's not going to necessarily break a bone, but I say that, and then I've watched some marching bands at the high school level try to, their band directors have designed this intricate thing on the field where they place things in strategic areas so that the flag corps or the ground crew can go and put them up as props or use them to twirl with during the show, but they're placed on the field while the kids are marching around. And I've watched trombone players trip over something that they have stepped over several dozen times in practice and break their leg. And it's not the kid's fault. In my opinion, it's the person that designed the whole thing, because it's like, why would you take a teenager who uncoordinated to start with, and you're going to put obstacles in their way? Well, they have to look forward and march and get to a specific spot, but they have to walk over the stuff you've decided to pepper into the field. And I'll sit there at a competition, and I think I've been to a couple competitions since graduating high school, but a long time ago. I think I was at one a year ago. That was very interesting to watch. But watching these competitions and then seeing everybody try to get more and more elaborate. They're using synthesizers now, which I don't mind. You know, a good synthesizer is always awesome. A good electric guitar is always awesome, you know, that kind of a thing. But they've got chords now in the pit. Those chords it seems like the kids chew through chords like a woodwind chews through reeds, you know, and you never know if the chord is going to work when you get there to plug it in. I watched one poor young gentleman playing what I'm sure was an amazing guitar solo during the band competition, and you couldn't hear a thing because the chords were all screwed up. So introducing new elements into a band deal is a recipe for disaster, and it sounds like I'm being an old man, but the reality is there's just only so much, you know, you can ask a young person of that age to do before it starts to collapse. So, and walking, chewing gum, reading in rhythm while marching sideways is probably a little too much sometimes, you know. Anyway, so I think we're done. We've got almost 6 minutes in this brew. I'm very excited. We're going to take a look. I'm going to put it on the cup, and then we're going to watch it drain down because that is so much fun. The drawdown happens really quickly because, you know, mainly because this is not a really fine grind. And you can see little holes, so that's where it kind of channeled. But channeling doesn't matter because it sat in that coffee. It was immersed in that coffee, which is why this is immersion brewing. And it just basically just soaked and withdrew all that water into the coffee. So basically you get this wonderful cup of coffee, and it's immersion brewing more or less like French press because it sits there, but you've got this wonderful filter, And because of the filter, you get, I suppose I can put you up here, huh? Yeah. And because of the filter, you get none of the coffee bits in the coffee itself. And it just makes for a wonderful cup. Oh, that's really nice. I'm gonna take a swig of water. It's really nice. Let that cool down for a second. But, excuse me. Oh, I need my coffee. But, you know, and it's just one of those things where, you know, you watch these poor kids and, you know, and you feel bad for them because they had to deal with the director's vision. And then you feel bad for them again because they're going to have to deal with the director's aggravation. You know, because how many times have you stepped over that in practice? Well, to be quite honest, you should not be stepping over anything on the field, ever. I mean, it's if you watch, and I'm pretty sure I'm accurately saying this. If you watch an OSU marching band halftime show, all of their movements are on the field, and there's nothing sitting on that field that they have to step over. Everything is either far enough away to where the flag corps or the drum major or whomever, the field crew, can go out and grab it and bring it towards everything. You know, it's far enough away to where that doesn't have to happen. And, you know, and again, it's going back to, you know, kids and coordination, and some are more coordinated than others. And when you have a band of like 30, you know, you're dealing with all kinds of coordination issues. You can't put stuff on the ground and then expect someone to march sideways while facing forward and 100% of the time step over that obstacle. I mean, there was this one, I just remember it vividly, where this poor and it's the trombone player again, tripped and fell backwards because for some reason the band director decided for 2 seconds the flag corps was going to hold up these 2x4s that were painted and pretend to be clock faces and then tick, 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 you know, and do that in the middle of the song. But it was for like 2 seconds. And then they put them down and they never used them again. But prior to them using it, it was on the field and the trombone player was going sideways, playing, and then tripped over. No, it wasn't even sideways. They were marching backwards. And the poor person tripped and fell backwards, couldn't protect himself because he was holding his trombone, and fell backwards. And I mean, I don't know, I'm sure that hurt a lot. Jumped right back up, to their credit, and continued playing the show. But it was just because the band director decided for 2 seconds the field corps was going to go out there and hold a clock thing up for like 2 seconds and then put it back down. You're not getting a 10 anymore, buddy. You're getting maybe like a 6. You know, because it was a band competition, so they graded on, you know, scales and whatnot, and I think a perfect 10, blah, 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 you know, that kind of thing. So it just, and, you know, otherwise the show was great. They sounded wonderful. It was, I remember it vividly, you know, they did a wonderful job. They were great. But because of the ambition of somebody that wanted to be fancy, the poor kid tripped and could have broken a leg, could have broken an arm, could have gotten a concussion, could have bent his instrument. That would be the best possible outcome of all of those scenarios. But, you know, and they don't think. And then there's punishment. You know, they're like, you tripped, you know, during the show. And as a teenager, and doubly so as a sensitive teenager in band, now the fact that they are not going to state because of that performance is your fault. And that's a lot of pressure to put on a child or a teenager going through enough already, you know. And it's just, it just made me sad. It made me really sad because you're setting them up for failure. And then, you know, back to the band, our band director, she's not my band director, she's Frontier's band director, but going back to the band director, she's got 10 kids, and she's trying to rebuild everything that the school board back maybe 10 years ago totally destroyed. And we can go into that tomorrow. I've already talked long enough about that kind of stuff, you know, but we can go into that tomorrow. I'll try to remember. I want to do the AeroPress tomorrow, because it's fun and dynamic and interesting. This is all fun and dynamic and interesting, at least to me. Anyhow, the Puerto Rican honey process coffee is just, it is the best thing ever. It's so funny. You get these funny little citrusy notes, and then you get a nice little caramel finish on it. But the citrusy notes are just so fun because, it's like it's sat and it basically fermented for like 40 days. And you just get this bright and fun. And then the immersion brewing adds a little bit more depth, I feel, than doing it with the French press. I feel like in the French press, you're trying to dodge small little coffee bits that kind of got through the filter. With the Chemex, it's a kind of a different profile. You get more of the citrusy taste and less of the caramel. But because it's sat in here long, the water's absorbed a lot of that wonderful coffee flavor, so you get more of a caramel hit at the end, and the citrus is kind of lingering there in the beginning just to kind of show you that it's there. Makes for a wonderful cup of coffee. And it makes for a decently sized cup of coffee. So that's, 350 grams of water? I mean, that's a great sized cup of coffee right there. Perfect. Perfect for the morning. Perfect for the day. And I hope you have a good day. I really appreciate you watching. Tomorrow I'll try to get back into arguing about school boards and how they sometimes don't have any idea. We've got a school board thing going on right now today, and it's worse than it was last year, because at least last year they had that critical race theory thing that they knew had no idea what the hell that was, but they decided to put it on their little slips of paper that they put in people's mailboxes anyway, and so you know who not to vote for, because apparently they were teaching that second year law school class to elementary students. I don't get it. They're not. But anyway, so thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll get back tomorrow with some more complaining. And more coffee, of course, but also complaining. Bye.